Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X-Men Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk about sim racing. So let's get started with this. 4 years ago, I got a wild hair up my butt while playing GT Sport to go over to GameStop and pick up a sim rig. So I went over there. They had like this T80 in stock, so I bought that, took it home, hooked it up, and that thing was just it didn't even work. So I turned around and I took that right back, and then I went to Best Buy and I ended up getting a T150. The T150 worked a lot better. I brought it home. I hooked it up to a little tabletop. I screwed the pedals to the floor so they wouldn't slide around on me, and I got my first taste of force feedback sim racing on a T150. Now I played that for a little while, Gran Turismo Sport, feeling pretty decent on it, felt pretty good. But then I was like, man, I want to play a rally game. So I bought, I had, I had, I had just bought, WRC 8 or something on my Xbox One X. So I had to go over to Best Buy and buy another. Well, this time I bought the Xbox version, the TMX, which is also essentially the T150. So I mean, for the most part, I mean, it came with a better pedal set. I got with the Xbox One. Well, the cat had chewed through the cord on the T150, so I couldn't use it for a while until I bought that TMX, and thankfully the pedals worked for both wheels, so I could swap them out if I wanted to play my PlayStation or if I wanted to play the Xbox. So I had the two wheels. I'm already into that. Like $350 or whatever. So then I bought this little stand, like a little stand that you could put with you could just put a stand and then pull a chair up to it, and mount the pedals and the wheel to that. Now that was pretty cool. That was great. It worked out pretty nicely. I paid like $100 for that. So I mean, after that, I'm already like $500 into sim racing, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. But there was always something that just didn't feel right. Um, the it was just like it was almost like there was just way too much of a dead zone, so it made counter steering in rally games extremely difficult to do. Extremely difficult. I mean, like track racing games were pretty much okay. Wasn't too big of a deal with that. Those were okay. Pretty nice force feedback. Whatever. You could feel like the rumble strips. You could feel some of the nuances that you would possibly feel while driving a car, and that was pretty cool for the most part. Didn't really necessarily have a problem with that. Like I felt like, yeah, this is pretty cool. But the rally thing was really bugging me because I really wanted to play rally games, and trying to play like WRC 8, at 30 frames a second, whatever. That just wasn't that great. Dirt Rally 2.0, stuff like that. Just with that wheel was really stressful. So about a year and a half later, I had upgraded to the Thrustmaster TX. Now the TX has definitely got more power. It felt a lot better. I had it hooked up to, and then I actually bought a PlaySeat Racing Sim cockpit, which for the whole time I had that thing super uncomfortable, really hard to use, really hard to drive. But the Thrustmaster definitely felt better. I was being able to get, the Thrustmaster TX definitely felt better than the other ones. I was getting, a little bit better and, feeling a little bit more confident in myself. So you skip forward, another year after starting this channel. Well, a couple more years. I had that playseat for a while. Well, I had reached out to Next Level Racing, and they sent me the FGT cockpit. Truly incredible upgrade from that playseat. Way more stable, a lot more rigid, feels a lot better. The seat's far more comfortable. Came with all the stuff that I had to buy for the playseat, like a shifter mount, a seat slider. Everything just comes with the Next Level Racing FGT cockpit that you can set up in either um, FG or Formula Racing, or you can set it up as a GT racer. I have mine set up as a GT racer now, and truly incredible. Made the Thrustmaster experience even a little bit better. Definitely added more stability to the overall seating of the cockpit, so that definitely felt better. But then a week ago, Comus sends me a direct drive wheel, a 15 Newton meter direct drive wheel with the GT1 wheel setup for that. And I'll tell you, from the moment I hooked that thing up, I completely feel like the last 4 years was a serious waste of time. Well, not a waste. I mean, not a complete waste of time, but it completely changes the way I look and feel about sim racing. Just having that Comus direct drive wheel for the last 5 days or so. It's been about 5 days since I've actively been able to use it, and I have used it every single day on everything from rally, from WRC to Dirt Rally 2.0, all the way over to Assetto Corsa Competizione, Automobilista 2, Assetto Corsa, Project Cars. So many games that I've tried on this thing, and playing them with my VR headset, my MetaQuest 2, has completely changed the way I look and feel about sim racing. No longer does it feel like just another peripheral for another way to enjoy video games. It feels so much closer to real life. And I was thinking about this yesterday when I was driving my truck home, and I'm like trying to get a feel for like what I can actually feel in the wheel as I'm driving down the road, because I've never really sat and thought about this. I mean, the Thrustmaster TX compared to like driving my truck or my wife's SUV, man, that doesn't even come close. I mean, it comes close. I mean, obviously you're turning the wheel with your hands, and it feels like you're steering the car, stuff like that. So, for the most part, it felt pretty good. But I've noticed something in my recent sessions of playing like Assetto Corsa Competizione, or playing like the rally games and stuff. I've noticed this incredible feeling that makes it feel like I have a more one-to-one ratio with how it feels in a real actual car. Now, I live in Utah, so we get snow from time to time. My truck is a rear wheel drive truck. I don't have the four wheel drive. I got a pretty nice truck. It's got a G80 locker in the rear axle. So if I start slipping it, it'll catch, and both tires will start giving me grip. So that's pretty cool. I haven't had any problems with that. But I can feel like when I'm fishtailing or when I'm sliding in the snow and stuff, I can feel in that immediate ability to counter steer. It feels right there, and it feels pretty good. Now, when I'm playing WRC 10, I went back to WRC 10. Love Generations, but I love the rally cars, the way the rally cars feel, the WRC cars feel in WRC 10, better than the new ones in WRC Generations. So I noticed I've been doing a lot of Estonia lately. I've been racing a lot of Estonia reverse the long course, and I love the way it feels when I'm sliding through that dirt, and the ability to counter steer and not overcorrect or oversteer or any of that kind of stuff has really turned my attention more toward a focus of wanting to actually take sim racing a lot more seriously and really learn. Because I mean, I'm essentially a mechanic. I work in a shop, and I fix stuff all the time. I don't work on like road cars or anything like that. Mostly like forklifts, stuff like that. But when I'm sitting there and I'm in this new FGT cockpit with this Camus direct drive wheel, and I'm sitting there and I'm driving these cars, these supercars, these fast rally cars, just having a blast. I'm noticing myself, like my racing line feels more stable, feels more consistent. It feels more like there's a lot of smoothness in this wheel. Like, it really does feel smooth. So I mean, it's definitely got some things that I need to try to figure out with some of the software to see if maybe I can get it to feel just a little bit better and stuff. But I'm telling you, man, I've said this in a couple of videos now. The ignorance is bliss, and it truly is, because that Thrustmaster TX, I would have never questioned its capabilities. But it also, but it's kind of a double-edged sword when you think about it, because ignorance truly is bliss. And with the with the direct drive wheel, comparing that to the Thrustmaster TX, the belt and pulley system, well, I would always feel like, I would always feel in my head that, like, man, sim racing's probably not going to get any better than this. There's obviously people out there that, you know, can just do a lot better. And I've watched a lot of sim racing videos, and I've made a lot of sim racing videos, and I've watched, you know, the guys on there, you know, like, you know, having the same, you know, kind of hand movement that I have when I'm using my Thrustmaster TX, even when they're using like direct drives and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, and it probably just feels the exact same. It's just probably a lot more like heavier wheel or something, you know. They're just, it feels more premium in your hands and stuff like that. And that was the exact feeling, the exact mindset that I had between my Thrustmaster TX and the direct drive wheel. I was literally naive enough to think that it was pretty much the same, just the feedback felt better. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, it probably just feels like my TX. I got a good wheel set up. It feels just fine. It gets the job done. My biggest, you know, problem with the TX is the small rim, you know, for the wheel. It just feels a little bit too small. Kind of feels like a kid's toy compared to like the actual driving experience. And then boy, I'm not even joking. That first race that I had on Assetto Corsa Competizione with that Camus direct drive wheel completely blew me away. And I know that the last few videos that I've made over this thing seems like I'm like super excited, and I'm trying to sell you some product from Camus that you probably don't care about. And I'm telling you right now, that is just the overjoy that I feel from being able to actually feel like this is a better experience. This is a stronger experience. This feels more in line with what it would feel like if you're driving a real car. And I appreciate that so much that it's really hard to just contain my excitement. So it really does make me feel like the last 4 years have just been, I mean, obviously all training on a wheel is good for reproof. Like, I feel that way. I feel that way, that it doesn't matter what you start out with, even if it's just rubber bands trying to give you a little bit of kind of force feedback or whatever. Like in that T80, I still feel that any type of pref reel that has a wheel that you can mount, that you can use to steer the car and stuff, is good for reproof and will help you get better. So I don't feel like them 4 years are wasted, but I feel so ignorant that that I would have never like actively went out and tried to. I mean, I probably eventually would have bought a DD wheel, just not anytime soon. I would have waited for that Thrustmaster TX to finally give out on me. Actually, I was looking at the TSXW or whatever, TSSW, because I like Thrustmaster, dude. You know, you buy a product and it gives you good vibes and you have good feelings about it. So you kind of like, I don't think you necessarily become a fanboy, but you definitely become brand aware, and you start following their products and you start looking at them. Like, I was ready to buy the TCLM pedals, but I bought the the T3PA Pro pedals because I like the inverted, and I'm still using those with this new Camus direct drive wheel, and I'm still like, ooh, boy, I don't know if I want to switch to a different set because I like them, but I feel like a new set of pedals would probably be better. I feel like it would probably change some of the way I drive, some of the way it feels, and I don't know, man. It seems like it seems like sim racing can get to be very serious, and I've seen a lot of videos from a lot of sim racers with a lot of high end tech, with a lot of high end stuff, high end cockpits, stuff like that. And it really does make you think, man, like, do you really need all that, or do you really have the space or the time or the money to invest in such high quality stuff just to gain a couple seconds on a lap? I don't know. I've got so many questions in my head, and things are spinning around so fast right now that I just don't know if I don't know exactly how to feel. I all I can tell you and all I can say is that this Comus direct drive wheel has definitely changed something and started a fire in me to to make me want to do better and to get better at sim racing. So I want to make better content going forward. I want to be as informative as I can because I know there's a lot of guys out there just like me that want a better experience but are unsure to take that next step. And I'm so grateful that Camus sent me this. Because, yeah, dude, it would have been a long time. But now I'm in a position with this channel to help the other guys like me, the ones that are like, they look at, because I look at all those other sim racers with all that high end stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, dude, I don't know, I'm not investing that. I'm not investing that. You know, and then I look back now, and now that I've got this experience and this opportunity came along, it's definitely changed my mind to a point where I want to help other racers and other people like myself to be able to get into this and really truly start to feel and understand from a whole nother level. Now there are plenty of direct drive wheels that are coming out that are compatible with console, because obviously this is an Xbox channel, well, a console channel, but I will be doing the Camus is not compatible with the Xbox, so I will be doing most of my racing content on PC from now on going forward, and that's fine. That's fine. I but at the same time, you know, there are entry level direct drive wheels that are good for console, and I would like to get my hands on one of those because I would like to still be able to enjoy my console games with a direct drive wheel. But I'll tell you right now, I'm just not financially in a situation to be able to make that happen, especially with Mama going in for surgery in the next week. So things are going to be a lot tighter, but I'm grateful to Camus for making this happen for me, and I will be exclusively using their brand on the channel for the foreseeable future, man. Like, I have no complaints over this Camus direct drive wheel, and that's simply because I haven't felt anything else. Like, I don't have anything else really to compare it to except for my previous experience. So if it feels like I'm putting Thrustmaster and their products down during my videos, I'm not trying to do that, because I've enjoyed the last 4 years. I've enjoyed the last 4 years and playing around with this and getting used to it. But man, I just entered into a whole different level. Like I'm into a whole different level of feeling and being able to do things. No longer do I have to train myself how to use the product that I have. Now I get to actually experience what it feels like to actually be behind, you know, the wheel of a 1,000 horsepower freaking car, and it feels good when I'm playing these rally games, and I'm sitting there, and right before it starts, and I hit the gas on that gravel, and I can literally feel the tires like skipping across the freaking gravel. And that to me is so incredible because it feels so much closer to what it would feel like in real life. Like, you can feel that inertia of power just transmitted to the road, and just feel the rotation, and it feels so insanely cool that I just can't get enough of it. I love this experience. I love it so much. It's not even funny. And the fact that I have this opportunity now is really, really cool, and I'm gonna try to help as many people as I possibly can, because there's a lot of guys out there making sim racing content, and it's kind of hard to follow a lot of that stuff, and it really is. It really is tough. Everybody's got their preferences, and this feels better and that feels better. And I watched a couple of the reviews on this Camus thing now because I'm still working on mine, and I want to see what these guys are saying, because I don't want to give people false information, but at the same time, a lot of the ones I've seen, it just sounds like a lot of Fanatec fanboys that that are just like, yeah, they sent it to me and I tried it and it's just, yeah, it's just not good. And I'm like, dude, like, look at the price difference between the Fanatec Podium and the freaking Comus. You're trying to tell me that that thing feels $1,000 better than this one does? I mean, this thing literally blew my mind, and you're trying to tell me that feels $1,000 better, $1,000 better. That's going to be a hard sell for me, man. I mean, seriously, if you can feel just a little bit better on the road surface than what this Camus feels, that's not worth $1,000 to me. That's not. This Camus experience is literally incredible for what it is. For the price of this thing, I don't feel like the quality's bad at all. I honestly say, and I said this in a couple of other videos, from the moment you get this thing and you set it up and you open up the box and you look at all the stuff in there, not one time are you going to feel like, oh, this is inferior quality. Like, you're not going to feel bad about the quality. The one thing, there is the one thing, you know, like putting the quick release onto the steering wheel and having to screw it together, like that there wasn't like the most satisfying experience, but like it didn't feel like super cheap or chintzy. Like this Comus direct drive wheel feels far more superior than that Thrustmaster wheel. So my two experiences are the Thrustmaster GTE Ferrari GTE wheel that I bought to hook up to my Thrustmaster TX versus the GT1 from Camus. Infinitely better. So I'm just like, okay, man. Like, it does suck that that's the only experience that I have to really compare the two, but man, that's weird. It is pretty weird. So, all right, man. I think I've talked your guys' ears off long enough. I will see you guys in the next one. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Like I said, I will be covering this Camus direct drive wheel a lot more over the coming months or whatever. So we're definitely gonna find out just how good this thing is, man. So if you like this content, like I said, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps out the channel. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.